Hi everyone, welcome to Four Women in a Podcast. My name is Lola Alzain. I'm here with my wonderful friends, Noha Beidoun, Nawal Al Saeed, and Roba Al Khalil. Today we will be discussing spirituality in a whole, right? In a
Spirituality and practice.
Spirituality and practice by the main person that's going to be hosting today's show is actually the self-proclaimed
ambassador.
First of all, she said
self-proclaimed
chairwoman
of the podcast committee.
I am the chairwoman of the podcast
committee. She named herself the chair of the
I am.
podcast
She
committee.
gave herself
I even made an
She'll be
agenda.
doing a lot of the hosting today since it's her thing. Go ahead.
It's not, first of all, it's not my thing. God is an abundant resource and he's accessible to all of us.
Absolutely.
But before we start, I think that we should have, just a little bit of a welcome back to our beautiful friends. We did take a hiatus. Let's acknowledge.
We did.
Yes,
we
we did.
Because Aroba had her baby.
Yay! Motherhood suits her. Look at that haircut.
Another
It
beautiful
was the
Muslim,
baby shedding
another
hair.
beautiful Muslim baby brought into this world.
That's great for the ummah. It's great for the ummah.
Why don't we
Podcast.
talk about what a muhtarimi you are and what your agenda states?
I think our audience would appreciate the objective.
Okay, so today, back to that. So, Mabruk and
Thank you.
hello everybody, and all of the Habayib are here and welcome. So today's question emerges from our discussion with Lola all the time and many others. Can you be spiritual? Right? You always ask. Can you be spiritual
without?
So I want to give you credit for this topic is what I'm saying. I'm not, this isn't
Thank you so
this
much.
is serious.
Thank you so much.
I want to give her credit for this topic because our overreaching questions of the day are, can you be spiritual without the rituals? Mm-hmm. And then the second question is, can you have, actually, I wrote the second question down. Is there benefits to rituals without spiritual connection? So I think we you know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
Let's say you're
yes.
doing this
Yes.
monotonously.
Yes.
So I think that's the conversation that we're going to have today. And I'm going to pass the microphone. Well, you already have it in front of you.
She has her own microphone.
You know
You
what
don't
I'm
got to
saying?
pass it.
And I think we can all weigh in on our perspectives on the first question I think we should talk is, can you be spiritual without how important are the rituals?
Okay.
And for us as Muslims, because we're all Muslims on this table, right?
Yeah, because
We all practice
they can be
them.
separate entities.
Yeah, exactly.
For a lot of people.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or
So-
do they go in hand or not?
Yes.
Go in hand or not?
Okay,
Indeed.
so today is what today? Today, January.
27. Don't ask
25.
me about dates.
Okay, so you guys, I did not make
Today's
this
the
a New
28th.
Year's resolution. It just happened to be this way. And I can proudly say it's embarrassing for me to even admit on air. I have not missed any prayers this year.
Wow.
So I'm really proud of myself. I've been
Good for
very
you.
consistent.
You should be very proud. Well,
I
that's
think-
awesome.
You've went over the hump. It's 21 days,
I
right?
know, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I'm
like,
actually
yeah,
really proud of
so
myself.
like-
it's become to where I need to do a prayer. So it's funny we're talking about this today in rituals because Celine has been praying with me.
Habib.
So Celine's only 7 years old. So the other day, and it's funny because when I was on my cycle and we didn't pray, she said, "You don't even want to salah anymore?" I said, "No, I do." So how do you explain to a child who's in first grade that Allah gives us this break? And what she said made so much sense to me. I did not know how to respond because I feel the same way about rituals. So she said, "That doesn't even make sense. What do you mean Allah's giving you a break? Just say you don't want to pray." So then I said, "No, I actually do want to. I don't know how to explain it to you. You're still very little, but Allah says because we're girls, I don't know how to explain it to you now, but we get just a week, a break, a month." She goes, "That doesn't even make sense." I said, "I know, but when you grow up, we'll talk
I wish
about
I was
it
there
more."
for that combo.
So then the other day when we were about to get on for our night prayers, she has a very hard time wearing the scarf. She hates it. So right. So she puts it on. She goes, "I don't even understand. I don't want to wear this. I'm not wearing this." Takes off. I go, "What do you mean you're not wearing it? You have to wear it when we salah." She goes, "That doesn't even make sense. If Allah can always see me,
Yeah,
how
why
come
do
I have to
cover it?
wear it only now when I'm praying? He can see me all the time." And I said, "You're right. Okay, fine. Don't wear it." Because she was right. Why do we have to wear that? I'm not saying that it's
It's hard to
wrong or
explain it to a
right.
child.
Yeah, it is hard to explain to a child, but she was right. if Allah's always watching us, I don't wear a scarf. Why, when I pray, I have to cover myself to the fullest, to that extreme? If right when I get off the Sali, he's gonna see me and he needs to take it off.
It's the same reason why we like get buried. I'm not going to answer all of these questions because I'm not a sheikha, but there
You're
is-
not?
Right.
No, I'm not. And
Oh.
even though she always
But no,
calls
I don't.
me,
Yeah, but just because you have the answers doesn't mean you're a sheikha.
No,
You
I
No,
know.
she's saying that
Yeah.
it happens to
Take
be
the
on
floor and,
her.
like, jump
Yeah,
to
it happens
Yeah.
to be on
answer
her.
all
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the questions because these are really valid
We're gonna put you in
questions.
the
I don't
pressure
want to,
cooker.
huh?
We're gonna put
But
you
she
in the
always,
pressure cooker.
but Lola always calls me and will ask me like, I'm like, do I look like a sheikh? Like, thank you
Because
for-
you're religious.
She's expecting you
By
to
the
have
way,
the
you
answer.
have your
It's an honor.
PhD in Islam.
I do not actually.
That's what I tell everybody.
But it's easy to explain it. It's the same reason. For example,
We bury
when
in the
we're
coffin,
buried
yeah.
in a coffin, it's just a
Symbolic.
covering
So
modesty.
it's symbolic.
Yes.
It's a symbolic
And
covering and,
also-
So
modesty.
it's symbolic, meaning it's
I
it's
think
just a ritual.
Yeah, well, I think our child psychiatrist over here should chime in a little bit on like children thinking and like abstract and concrete thoughts.
She
Yeah.
can't. Her mind is not developed enough for her to understand like death, and you were a coffin,
Yeah.
and up there
Yeah.
there's heaven, and
It's
how do we
hard.
get to heaven? And like,
She actually
you
doesn't
know what I
understand
mean?
because she asked me why Santa Claus is the only person that never dies.
Yeah, but she doesn't know the finality of the death. She doesn't
Yeah.
know that it's irreversible. That still is a concept. She
Right.
knows death,
Yeah.
but in compartments. Like she doesn't know the full scope of the death. Like
that is
you
true.
can't come back, and we can't see you anymore, and that what happens to you, go into the ground, and where does your soul go? Those are concepts like way above her.
Yeah, they're very abstract.
Yeah.
They're very abstract. So
They
children
think very concretely. Like
yeah.
But it is a good thing though. Like we're
To
on
have
the
this-
subject
of course.
Yeah,
no,
we're
she's
having-
asking. Celine's asking.
Yeah, she's
great
asking very
questions.
relevant questions. And
Valid
as the
questions.
adults, we have. I think our responsibility is to recognize what's concrete and what's abstract, and then direct,
Yeah.
and then provide
Yeah, an answer that she can understand.
That she
in
can
that concrete
understand.
Thinking. Yeah.
I think also for me personally, I used to believe I was much more spiritual than I was religious. I think now it's more of a balance because
Yeah.
spirituality is more within versus like religion is more
Learned.
learned. It's what you're born into.
Yeah.
It goes
framework,
hand in hand with-
system,
it goes
the
hand in hand with
system.
rituals, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
there is a difference there. However, because of now I used to believe before, I was consistent with my prayers that spirituality and rituals didn't really like go hand in hand. But now that I have been consistent with my rituals, my spirituality has gone up tremendously.
Well, let
for
me
sure.
tell you this. Two things that I want to say. Number one, I think it's the thing that I was saying about Celine is not the validity of her question, which is completely valid.
Absolutely.
But it's also
Very.
like such a nice thing that
It opens up
that
a
Celine
discussion.
and all of our kids are at a point where we can reteach them an approach to rituals
Sure,
that we never learned as kids.
sure.
Yeah,
Like,
because
in
everything
terms
was
of-
guilt. Everything
yeah,
was you're gonna go to hell.
exactly.
You're gonna die and burn in hell.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing. That's the second thing I want to say is that for me, on this journey of self-development, and it's actually a current body of research that I'm working on right now, is that as it turns out, everything that I've ever learned about about self-development, mindset, growth mindset, reprogram your subconscious mind, healing, all of this stuff, as it turns out, the rituals that are embedded in our religion are actually modalities of self-development that can help you unlock your greatest potential while you're on this earth. So what I'm trying to say is, for example, when we were growing up, we learned that we have to pray 5 times a day. We
Faster in
fast,
Ramadan.
we wear hijab. We do all of these things to get to heaven in the afterlife. But what I learned in a recent body of work that I've been reading, whether it's Dr. Joe Vitale, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Esther Hicks, Gabby Bernstein, is that there is almost a 1-to-1 correlation between the rituals that we have in Islam, be it a different language, a slightly different form, and the practices that they tell, or they preach, or there's research behind it. it's actually like a one-to-one correlation, but because we don't see our rituals as these modes of subconscious reprogramming, it takes us to the second question: is there any benefit if there's no, like, in your ritual practice, if there's no spiritual connection? We don't see that benefit. But like, I'll give you guys an example. Like Dr. Joe Vitale, like tasbih, for example. How much do the self-development experts talk about affirmations? How much do they talk about meditation? It's salah. How much does Esther Hick and Dr. Joe Dispenza quite literally cite the morning time as the best
Morning
time
prayer.
for spiritual because of mass consciousness? Morning prayer.
Yeah.
And so
My
there's
favorite
like
prayer.
this, or Ho'oponopono. Dr. Joe Vitale's whole platform is Ho'oponopono, the 4 phrases: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you,
Astaghfirullah.
astaghfirullah, alhamdulillah, shukr, all of these things that he says, have them on repeat in the back of your mind. And then subhanallah, the universe is within you. There's countless ayahs in the Quran. That's a hadith from Imam Ali, but there's countless ayahs in the Quran where God talks to us about like finding inner peace, and they all talk about this inner peace, and God talks about the inner peace through spirituality. Allah inna bi dhikrillah yatma'inna al-qulub. You know what I'm saying? And so I renewed my love for the rituals when I reapproached it through a lens of like growth potential, reprogramming my subconscious mind. These became for me now
Because we learned
daily
it through
check-
silos.
Exactly. They became we
know,
learned
like
it with a
fasting.
cultural line.
You have to fast in
Yes.
Ramadan. Prayer, you pray 5 times.
Yes.
Where's the connection to all this, and where does it
No,
connect to
and
you?
how does
Yeah.
it contribute to your holistic well-being while you're here? We didn't see benefit, so it's easy to forget your prayers,
Yeah.
thinking that this is just because
You
you
have
can't
to
see
do-
the
you
abstract
have
of hell.
to
We
do.
go back
Yeah.
to this
Yeah.
abstract. We can't see the abstract of hell,
Yeah.
but when you realize that your daily prayers are a check-in and it's got these benefits in the Quran, which is to keep us away from sin, to keep us in the remembrance of
Keep us
God,
on the right path.
the affirmations,
Yeah.
the repetition, what it does to your subconscious mind, then you don't want to you want to always pray. You never want to take a
That is very
break.
true.
Do you
So-
see what I mean?
But what advice? So, for me, and I feel like this is relatable. Perhaps many females, especially in the community, would be maybe shy or embarrassed to talk about it. But like, as somebody who's practices, I would consider you and Hajnwa and even Roba, like good practicing, female Muslims.
Try your best.
I know we all try our best, but what advice would you give to the girls? Because once you start your cycle, it's hard to get back on that routine.
Yeah, picking back up.
And to stay consistent. So what advice would you give to girls who struggle with that? Who struggle with, with praying 5 times a day, who don't want to wash off their makeup in the middle of the day to go pray, who those things that seem it's not a big deal to some might
Or
be
washing your hair after certain
Right.
intimate moments. I'm
Right.
serious.
Yeah.
honestly, it's
Yeah.
very true.
I mean, it's a
You
real
just
struggle.
watch the top of your head here, but that's
Well, you don't need
Okay,
to-
we're opening up a can of worms. A big old can
Listen,
of
it's a
worms.
very real struggle. It's a very real struggle because I struggle with it. After I'm done with my cycle, like to get back into the ritual, there have been plenty of times where, especially during the winter times, where your afternoon prayers, you've got like a 4.5 hour window.
Yeah.
right.
And you wait till the last second.
And I wait to the last second all the time. But, the only advice that I can give you is that it's real. It is a struggle. It's hard. Just do it. It's not, just like get up. Even if it's 1 minute left, it's okay. Just go do it. Tawadda,
Your
pray.
intention. It's
Just
intention.
go.
Your
Just go
intention.
and
You
pray.
have the
Get it
intention.
done.
What do you-
And then a minute later, you got your Maghrib and Isha.
And
Get
you're
your
done.
Maghrib and Isha
Okay,
done,
but
and that's
see,
it.
that would not work for me. I'm gonna tell you why. Because that's just like rushing through it. You're like, okay, no, like let's slow
I
down.
know.
But then that's
But
that's
then,
good that
like,
you want to
for
approach
me-
it
Yeah.
like that.
Like for
Yeah.
me, when I pray, I want to separate. Like I'll do the. I don't like to pray anything late
Together.
unless I have to, But I like to separate them because I genuinely get into each.
I mean,
and
that
every
is the
prayer.
mustahab way.
Right, and
It
to
is.
be
That's the
connected,
highly,
sure.
it's
Yeah.
the most
Dhul
highly
al-Awwal,
recommended
Better to
way.
just like
Yeah.
slow down and just connect in that moment, and the best way you can, and not to go back to what you said. It's exactly it. It was like a form of meditation for me.
Yeah, it is.
It was a form of meditation that helped me stay consistent, and for me personally, So I feel like when you start to to be consistent with your prayers and you consider it a form of meditation because you're so deeply connected, it's easier to hop back on that. But to take it even further, and like some people might find this, I don't want to say weird because it's not weird, but you know,
Different.
my girlfriend Mona and I today were at Melvindale High this morning talking to a group of students, like females, about journaling and why it's so important. I love journaling about my prayers.
Yeah.
I love journaling about like how those prayers had such a great and positive impact on my life in that moment, during that day, during that hour, because it truly brings me, like, humbles me. It brings me back
Decompresses
to
you.
earth,
Yeah.
you know, and
it's like a form of
I'm a
decompression.
snapper. Like, I have a very bad temper, and I start to I will spaz out in moments, and for some
You're
reason,
also an instigator.
that I am. But for some reason,
Just imagine her in her Escalade ready to drive into something.
right, that's exactly me.
Oh my
But
God.
for some reason, when I'm able to, you know, get in my prayers consistently and like really feel connected, it calms me.
Honestly, I also like to, like, the way I frame it as much as I can is I like to say that these, in addition to being modes of self-development, like unlocking our greatest potential while we're here, in addition to that approach, like a reframe that makes us like really see the value in these rituals that God, and guess what? As it turns out, all of the tools of self-development are already in our religion. All we need is the lens to perceive it. All we need is the readings in the eyes
Very
to
good
unlock
way to
and
put it.
dilate these texts, because even whether it's charity to increase your wealth or, you know, trust in the form of tawakkul, trust in a
Right?
all of
Charity to increase wealth goes with the like
abundance.
living in abundance,
I love
the law
it,
of attraction.
the law of- that's what I'm saying, and they're all
Yeah, it
right there
does.
in the spiritual doctrine. Subhanallah.
Yola, get this book out already.
We'll see. But the point is that the next thing that I always tell, like, or I try to frame prayer in terms of like the logistics of being frustrated by sometimes like not feeling like it or having the
feeling like you have to-
inconveniences of it.
yeah.
Prayer is a commitment. Spiritual practice is discipline. It's bigger than us. You know, it's
It is
like
bigger than us.
it's
But you
self-regard.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
greatest source of self-regard is your relationship with God. So if you're approaching it from the fact that like, this is my responsibility, this is my commitment, you have, it's like almost like a thing of like self-respect or self-esteem.
It's like an athlete
or-
with practice.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's an
It's
athlete with
self-regard.
practice.
You know what I'm saying? So do you see what I mean? Like you frame it in a way
That's
like
the advice.
this is the advice, like this
Yeah.
is bigger than us. Life
Yeah.
life and your purpose has to be bigger than the inconvenience
And it
of
doesn't
this
have
daily
to be
check-in.
perfect. It doesn't
No,
have to
of
be
course
perfect
not.
Not every
every
time
single
you're gonna
time.
have
Don't get me wrong,
connection that's
Yeah.
so deep with
Yeah.
God
Right.
every single prayer.
Not every prayer.
Absolutely
No.
not.
Sometimes I am in
Absolutely
a
not.
rush. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I just want to
Right.
get it done.
In
but I
fact,
just want to get it done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
God is such an abundant natural resource, and guess what? I forget all the time that all I have to do sometimes when I'm really troubled is tell God
Yes.
that I'm.
Yeah.
I literally forget for extended periods of time, regardless of these ritual check-ins, that the Master of the universe can help me.
Anywhere,
but-
anytime.
and yet-
Dial in.
And you can
Dial
dial
in.
in. It's so
Anywhere,
easy.
anytime.
And then I'm like, and then like my sister or something will give me that advice. Just give it to God, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Man, does that feel great?
What a weight. It was
What a
lifted.
weight is
Yeah.
lifted off. But you want to say like you forget or it's not perfect. We need like daily reminders
Yeah.
of how infinite and like abundant and available this resource is to us, or like to push ourselves to keep like the hijab every day or all of these
It's
things.
hard.
Yeah, you should put on a hijab.
That's Hajj Lola's not there yet.
Okay.
We're gonna
And that's
Wow, that's
you're
so
on your journey.
positive. Look at that. It was so hopeful, Lola.
Very
I've
sarcastic.
never I've never heard it so hopeful when it came to the hijab.
Very
Wow.
sarcastic.
I don't know. It might be the
We could always do-
subconscious
we could always-
talking.
We could always go to Umrah.
I
and then
don't
one day we
know.
can
I
go
would
to
love
Hajj.
to go to Umrah.
I would love to go to Umrah too.
I would love to go to
Are you
Umrah with
gonna
you
go to
ladies.
Hajj?
No, I been to
Ladies,
the Hajj one
do
time.
you guys
back
think
in
we'll get an Umrah
19
sponsorship
both
from
of
this
these addresses have
podcast?
been
I
to
think that
Hajj.
would be a great.
I wish I
Wait,
could
hold
go to
on.
Umrah.
If we went to Umrah, do I have to wear a scarf? Because
Yes.
that does not
When
work
you
for
come
me.
back?
Really?
Not when you come back.
There,
When you're
right.
there,
When
yeah,
you're
you have to
there.
wear
Yeah,
the
when I come
garb.
back.
No.
Oh, okay. We'll go to Umrah when you want to go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's
I'd
go.
love to go as long as we get to go together.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, that would be
I
really
would
fun.
How
love
about with
that.
your
I
parent,
would
with
really
your
love that.
parents? No.
I went to Hajj with
Why
my
not?
mom.
I went to
Who-
Hajj
who'd
with
you
my
go
mom
with?
and dad and
You
my
went with your mom and
sister
dad?
and my brother And it was a family field trip back in
Long time ago.
Yeah, it was a great one. Lord knows we should renew that.
nice.
Inshallah.
No, I won't renew a Hajj.
I'd rather go to Umrah.
I'd do
though.
Umrah and I would do ziyaras.
Why
Khalas,
wouldn't you
I
renew
did my
it?
wish.
What does that mean?
No, like go a second time.
Why
to
do you
Hajj,
have
well,
to
khalas.
Go for somebody
You're
that night.
obligated to go once.
You
That's
can.
fine. I can if they're gonna pay for it. I'm not paying
But
that
I
money
would-
right now. I
But
did my
would
wish.
just-
If
because
y'all on
Hajj-
your
'cause
own,
look, the
okay?
time of Hajj is a lot of stress and pressure. I
Yeah.
would rather just go again to Umrah.
so lax.
Where like
Yeah.
because
See,
Hajj
like,
in and of itself, like
I'm
most
not
people
ready for
think
Hajj
it's like
anyways.
this.
It's not. It's very tiring.
It's very tiring.
Very
It's-
tiring, yeah.
That's why you shouldn't
yeah.
do it when you're so old.
Yeah, exactly.
very
It is.
tiring.
It's
Tiring.
actually
Gone to
very
Kabe
tiring.
7 times.
No, girl, it's
way
a whole
more than
thing.
that.
You go up
Make
the
sure
hill?
you take your Louboutins
I don't have any.
so you can walk.
I wear my Apple Watch. I'm just curious to know how many steps you get, or do you have to take that off too?
I think you do when you're in ihram.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
do.
say
You
you're
can't have
doing your
anything.
ihram.
Yeah. Have
And I
anything.
think I know.
Why are you? How do you know so much about it? Did you go?
Well, she's a good girl,
Do I
and you're
have to-
judging
do
her.
I have to go to
she
know?
went to an Islamic school, right?
You can't even
I
look in the
did.
mirror when
I
you're in
did go.
ihram.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
Yeah, you
reflection.
can't.
yeah.
Seriously?
The idea
Yourself.
is that you really go back to your natural state.
Wow.
Subhanallah, you know.
Your clothes have no stitching. Like
Yeah, you really go back to your natural.
You can't
state.
wear deodorant or anything, right?
no.
No, only
Natural.
during the ihram.
Only during
Only
ihram,
during
but you
that
can wear
you can't.
natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the last place you want to go to is Hajj in the summertime, right?
Yeah, it's rough.
It's rough.
It's hot. It's hard.
We went in
in
December.
December, and it
It
was
was
pretty
perfect,
hot.
and it was
But it's
still
still hot.
warm.
It's Saudi
And there were
Arabia.
millions
Did you
and
go with
millions
Reese?
of
No, I can't
people.
remember. Did you go with Reese or no?
No, I went before him.
Yeah.
He went the year after.
Me and Awal went the same
We went
year,
the
but
same
different
year.
hamlas.
Just different groups.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, anyways, El Muhim. Let's
I would want
bring
to
it
go to
back.
Hajj Hassan Subah, his hamlet, because I love Hajj Hassan Subah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
for sure. You'll
great.
have a lot of
Inshallah,
fun.
Inshallah, you will. So,
Hajj is fun.
Hajj is fun. Hajj is fun. It's
With your
tiring.
crew.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
very
understand.
tiring, but it's a lot of fun. The friends that you make and the connections
Yeah,
you make
that's
with
like
people
it's a
are a
lifelong-
lifetime.
I noticed that.
It's a
Like when
lifetime.
you go to Hajj with certain people, you come down.
Or
and
ziyara or
connection.
umrah.
Or umrah or ziyara,
Yeah.
anything.
Think
Best
about
friends.
that. Like, how amazing is it that we live in a city where we can just take a group of people together and all go to Hajj together and come back and live in the same area?
it really is a blessing.
Oh, Dearborn
What a blessing.
is the greatest blessing.
Dearborn is
Dearborn
the
is.
greatest blessing.
Oh my gosh, I love Dearborn.
I would not want to live anywhere else. I mean,
Same.
I know Roba stuck up. She wishes she could live in like Birmingham and stuff.
Listen,
but
I don't care, yeah.
Honestly, I love Dearborn.
For anyone who lives in Birmingham, she doesn't think you're stuck up if you live in Birmingham.
I don't.
Listen, I always say this. I was like, Dearborn has, like, you know, just like any other small town,
Yes.
small bubble has, but like I would not choose. I would choose Dearborn over every other town in this world. I really
We're
would.
lucky. We are.
We are very lucky.
We
so
are.
blessed.
We are,
So blessed. Where
alhamdulillah.
else can you get a cheese man ushi on a Sunday morning?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
I'm sure New York.
Okay,
has
forget the cheese man ushi. Where else can you take your kids to listen to a quick Islamic lecture and get some ba'a and labne?
them. Yeah.
I know.
Like
And then
those
go to
guys
a
are
football
sweating.
game. And then go to a football game
Sure,
after.
I'm-
Seriously, I'm just saying like the mixing of two worlds. Just saying like the mixing of two worlds.
Yeah, the football game
You
threw me
know?
off a little bit, but yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I think maybe in Lebanon and
I don't know
you
any of
in
the Arab
other-
countries.
that where
the
they
Middle
have
East,
like
I
mosques
don't know.
and breakfast.
Okay,
and
let's
then
get back on
sports
topic.
afterwards. I
Because
don't know.
we're- I'm
Yeah, let's
at
get
age
back
I
right
love
now.
Dearborn too, but I see what you guys are saying tongue
Yeah.
in cheek. It's
Yes.
a beautiful community, and it is.
No, Dearborn is so lucky and blessed to have you.
It's lucky and blessed to have the
You
title
are the
agency and
epitome
you.
of-
I was
Oh
gonna
my
say
God!
the
Can
title
you
lady. It's
No.
so lucky to have the title. By
And
the way,
you,
you know
all
you
of
can
us.
choose your
you are
own
the
title
epitome
company.
of muhtarame.
stop?
You
Isn't that on
are.
her billboard?
You guys,
Yeah,
can
it's
I
on her
just say
billboard. Choose your own title
Well,
company.
you guys-
You can choose your own title
you guys-
company.
Yes, I
My
just said
billboard's
that.
working,
Yeah.
so it's
I
good.
said
You
that.
guys all contribute to society in very meaningful and beautiful ways. That's what we're gonna
Oh,
say.
that just
I don't want to
that
be a
reminds me of
stickler.
the next topic. No,
Yeah.
no.
Write it
Yeah.
down.
What?
I am gonna write it down.
Tell-
Why
yeah.
not? Stay tuned. Say it in the podcast.
Yeah. So let's just come back. I'm not trying to be like a party pooper because this is a great conversation.
Robo said it 10 minutes ago. She said, let's get back on topic.
Yeah, a little bit. And I agreed with you. Since I'm hosting this episode because Lola wasn't prepared and she is not
She
always
was too busy praying.
Yeah, she's too
I was
busy.
very, very busy. Thank you so much.
You should be very proud of yourself.
Yeah,
All of
really
you should.
am.
So the second question is
Is there a benefit to rituals without spiritual
I
connections?
think there is. I think definitely there is.
I
I'll
think
just go
the
ahead and-
rituals
It's
become-
better to do it than not.
But that's like neuroplasticity.
No.
Like, you know how your brain, you train your brain to do certain things
Yeah.
over time and time
Yeah,
and
it's
time.
robotic.
Yes,
Psychiatrist.
that's
I
your
don't
ritual.
agree.
So
I don't
you
agree
don't
with you, and
agree.
I'm going to tell you why. Because what is the point in doing something if you are not connected.
Well, I'll tell you what the point is.
You think
First of all,
everything you do
it's-
in life has to
yeah.
have a benefit?
And not just that, if you're not connected. I see the logic behind that. However,
But we're not always connected. Sometimes you pray and you're just getting through the prayer because you have to
Yeah.
pray and you have 5 minutes.
Sometimes
before
you're
adult.
eating a shitty meal because you
Wow.
need to lose 10 pounds. It's the nastiest meal, but you're eating it because you just need
Alhamdulillah,
to
there are
do.
people in this world that can't even eat that meal.
That's not
She's
the point.
giving you an
I'm giving you an
example.
example. The point
I
is sometimes
see-
you just
I
do
see
what
the
you need to
analogy,
do.
sister. Shukran.
Sometimes you just do what you need to do
Yes, both of
because
you.
have
But let me
You
tell you
have to.
something. The great thing is too is that it's wajib. So whether you Lola see benefit in it or not,
You
it's
still gotta
wajib and
do it.
It's haram
Yeah.
to utish your prayers.
yeah.
And it's so for somebody that's on the fence and like I would tell them do it because it's wajib and find the connection later through neuroplasticity or eat. As you said, eat
Yeah.
the meal,
Yeah.
lose
Because
the weight.
you know down
You're
the
gonna
line you're
get
gonna lose
there.
the weight.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's gonna click. You guys, I'm gonna be
Eventually,
honest.
you'll like a low
It took me
calorie, low
30
sugar diet.
You guys,
Eventually.
this man, this
like I'm on a keto right now. I'm trying to get back on it.
No, we're
It's-
gonna
it's
stay
my-
on topic. We're gonna stay on
But
topic.
my point
I digress,
is, it's like
I digress.
It's my fifth or sixth day, and you're right. Fifth or sixth day, and you're right. It's just whatever. It is what it is.
Lola,
but
you look really good, by
thank
the
you
way.
Thank you.
Habibat Albi. Anyways, guys, I want to say though, I'll give you an example. Like if I've been praying since I was, like a person. Let's not.
Yeah,
make
we don't
this
need to put an
autobiographical.
age, yeah.
Exactly. Like let's say you've been praying since you were 9-10 years old, okay, and then it's an ebb and flow of connection. Like sometimes you go through phases where you're deeply, deeply connected to it, and sometimes you go through phases where you're not. But phases where you're not, you don't want to utish. Not
You
just
still
through-
have to do
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah,
still
that's
have
true. You
to do
wanna
it.
stay
So
But
consistent.
it's like
kinda
going
nice.
to work. You think people want to go to work every single day,
Yeah.
but you have
You
to go to work. You are in a
I
contract.
always look at those.
Exactly.
I always look at those memes and reels on Instagram, and I check to see if any of the girls that work at Venture Title like those reels.
Why
that
you're gonna
say-
fire him?
No, but I don't want them to be in a horrible work environment. I want them to.
I don't
love-
think it's a horrible
Lola,
work
it's
It's not a
environment.
horrible.
but-
People are allowed
Yeah,
to not want to
not
come
love
to
their
work
job. Yeah,
or
or
not
not
love
love
their
the-
job.
We said
Yeah,
this
anybody's
before.
allowed to do.
People
whatever
are
they
allowed
want.
to like put on the hijab and like feel like it's constricting or
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
limiting.
Yes.
and then
It's
take
the
it
first-
off.
No,
No.
you.
That's
you
not
have to
the
do what's
answer.
wajib.
That's where she was going.
No, I
No,
wasn't
no.
doing
She
that.
definitely
point
was
is
not.
you're allowed to
She definitely was
feel-
not enabling.
Tawbah. And then the next thing I want to say
What
is
was that thing you said? Astaghfirullah, what?
وأسأله التوبة.
وأسألها التوبة.
اسأله.
أسأله
He, he,
التوبة.
Mama, I just want to make this one point. It took me years of prayer. And honestly, I'm
And you
not,
were in a home where it was embedded.
Very
every
embedded
single
in
day,
us.
all day, every day.
and yeah, I
Islamic
still
school.
had my own
and
journey.
you still struggled.
And it was not until my later adult years that I see
The connection.
the
Yeah.
connection between self-development, spiritual. Doesn't mean all those years I wasn't doing it, but when you renew it with a new lens, then you see, oh my God,
You're running
God
to
is
that
not-
prayer rug.
God is not sitting on his throne
Waiting for you.
Waiting for
Yeah.
إن أحسنتم أحسنتم لأنفسكم. He doesn't even care.
أحسنتم
It-
وأحسنتم
If you
وأحسنتم.
do good, you do good for yourself. He
not
doesn't
for-
even.
yeah.
He's not waiting for us to pray or fast or do any of those things. Granted, they're wajib because they're our own benefit. So that's what I say. Like, if there's even
Why
if there's
looking at
no
me, freak?
spirituality, you still have to do it.
No, I agree.
So let's say.
We answered the question too, so let's go to the final segment.
I don't think you can separate spirituality and practice. I think the only way to reach spirituality is through practice. And I don't mean practice like just prayer and fasting, but I
Right.
think it's a connection.
But you're
But
right.
does rituals
But you're
have to
right.
mean prayer? Can't rituals mean rituals could be like a form of meditation?
Ritual can be talking to Allah every morning without
Yeah.
having to stand on the saliyah.
I know 100%. You're
Which is what you would
absolutely
do.
right.
Which was, by the way, it was something I wanted to
But in the
bring up.
context of being Muslim,
No, that
I'm saying,
yes.
I'm not going around, and I'm just saying
Yes.
those are the rituals I'm
But
referring
I didn't know
to
we
for
were
practicing
we were
Muslims.
asking it
But
from
yeah.
a religious perspective. Yes,
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
they are hand in hand.
Yes.
Spirituality and rituals have to go hand in hand.
Yes. But I know what you're saying because like people that are not Muslim also do rituals to
Yes.
maintain
their
spiritual
spirituality,
connection.
whatever that may be.
That's meditation.
Potential energy
affirmations.
needs to turn into kinetic energy. It's very simple. Got to move to action. Cannot
Even-
just stay in just can't stay stagnant.
Another good analogy,
Yeah,
sister.
there has to be an actionable item at the end of it.
Exactly.
It's science.
And the actionable item is your rituals. Are your rituals.
It's science.
Yeah.
It's religion. It hits all the boxes.
Yeah, so
It doesn't have to be religion.
It
is what you're
doesn't-
saying.
No,
Yeah,
it
I'm saying there
doesn't.
has
She
to
said
be an
that's an
actionable
action.
item.
Yeah.
There
We're
has to be
outside
some
of
sort of
religion.
practice.
It could be a form of gratitude, journaling.
Yeah.
And that
Could
is
Yes.
be charity.
There are many
Talking-
different types.
There
It
are
could be
many
that.
different
It could be
ways.
charity.
going
Yes.
for a walk.
Yes.
Charity. Doesn't
Yes.
matter. It could be your
A
own
consistent practice. It has to be a consistent
Yes.
practice. In the context of Islam, because we're Muslims,
Muslims.
we're saying prayer,
Prayer,
Because
fast.
God gives
hijab.
us
Zakat,
the
khums,
prescription
whatever.
for
Yes.
what those practices look like for us.
Yes.
Do you get it, Lola?
Yeah,
He gives us the modalities. He
Yes.
offers it to us, just like he offers us many other tools of self-development. We're just not seeing them like that. You know what I mean?
Because we
Yeah.
weren't taught them that
like
way.
that.
That's another
Exactly,
thing.
yes.
The way
Yes.
we're taught and
Yes.
brought up.
Yes.
That's what I'm
There
talking
is-
about. Yeah.
There,
Yes.
there's
This
it's
instilled
just-
fear.
It is what it is. It's through fear.
Yes.
And it's-
Cultural.
It's not a good tactic.
It is. There,
Patriarchy.
there is a
Yeah.
lot. That's a very good point.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a lot
cultural.
of it is cultural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The journey of the unseen world.
I don't want to read that. I
know.
saw it when I was younger, and it scared me when I read the
I
first
never
one.
read it.
No,
No, you don't want to read it.
No, he
Why would you
didn't.
want to read it?
I can't believe you.
What did she
Are
say?
you not?
He's gonna take it out.
She goes, her uncle wrote it. No, she can leave that in because none of my uncles would ever write a book like that. None of them on either side. Like, what
That
happens
book
to
is so
her?
scary. That
Plus
book
she
is
cries
really
from
scary.
herself, too.
Yeah.
Thinks
She's
she's
gonna
so
pee herself.
funny.
She
She's
loves
so
the
funny.
reaction.
But this goes back to the first point. Does this not go back to the
She's
first
crying.
point?
Yeah, the first point on our agenda, I put it there.
Please, nobody
And it was the
zoom in.
first and
Please,
foremost.
nobody zoom in.
It's the first and
block
foremost
it
order
with
of
my pen.
business. Always.
Why don't you say what it is on the mic?
I'm not.
No, we're not gonna. That's not
professional.
neither here nor there.
Exactly.
We it's not gonna bring
It's
us
the
closer to
inside of the
anything.
Habib that all of us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very curious as to know your trivia this time around.
Are we
Okay.
done? Are we there
Yeah.
yet?
Yeah, I
Ready
think
for
we're
the?
done.
Okay, ready?
Okay. I would like to
I'm
give
not-
a disclaimer though before we get to the trivia part. Is that like everybody's on their own spiritual journey.
Absolutely.
Nobody here like was professing like nobody here is professing to be have all the answers
scholar.
or be perfect or be a religious scholar because that's none of us. We're only talking about our personal journeys
Absolutely.
and our personal practices, but like
Yeah,
by
we're
no
not
means
pushing
are
any
we the leading
agenda.
examples for
Well,
anything.
no.
Before we
We're
end,
trying our best.
Before we end, I think we should each give like a little piece of advice to maybe I want to say the younger females of our community.
All right, so let's give the advice, Noelle. I'm going to pass it to you.
To my younger sisters, I would like to just validate and acknowledge any struggles you may be having and that it's okay and it's very normal. And I would be worried if you weren't having any struggles. So just keep on, keep working.
I think I would say to anyone who's younger and who's struggling with this, I think probably a different perspective about religion and why we do what we do and understanding at an earlier age, I think can yield such a better connection when you're an adult.
Yes.
Everything should not be fear instilled
Yes.
For sure.
because it makes you very avoidant.
100%.
Wallah.
I would say to my younger sisters in the community, there's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And to keep your faith extremely strong.
Yeah.
And to just stay positive, and continuously thank Allah, God, throughout
Yeah.
your day.
Yeah.
Include it in everything that you do.
Remembrance,
Yeah.
remembrance,
Journal about it,
remembrance
remember
all
God,
day.
and just thank God
Yes.
every day for everything you have, for all of your blessings.
Yes.
You know what
Whether
I
it's your
think about
health.
all the time? The people in Gaza, that faith,
Yeah.
we need to be interviewing people like,
Right.
how do you have your kids at
Faith,
such a
that's
young
right.
age so faithful when they're
Yeah,
interviewed
it's
and they
amazing.
talk about
Yeah.
their faith?
This is very
It's
true.
so
It's amazing.
strong.
This is very true.
It is. They have such an
And
infinity.
they've lost
to
everything. They have nothing to lose.
and their perspective,
left.
like, what is their? I want to know how they raise these kids.
Yeah. That's true.
What about you, Noha?
I would say that, like, in addition to what you guys have all said, you know, like reframing your perspective or acknowledging the struggles or giving gratitude to raise your vibration. One thing that I tell my own kids is you will find in life whatever it is that you believe. So like you will confirm, your brain will work to scan and confirm your belief system, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't discriminate. So if you believe that spiritual practice is hard, it's going to be very hard. And if you believe, hey, this is going to benefit me, just a reframe on how like they can approach it.
That's
in a better
CBT.
way. Yeah, exactly. If you believe, there you go. See, it's science back.
Yeah.
And if you believe that it's going to be easy, then not easy, but if you believe, hey, this is something I can do and I can commit to this, then you can do it and you can stay persistent. But if you keep telling yourself, it's so exhausting, I don't have khila, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that.
Again.
Your brain is gonna perpetuate that.
Yeah,
you know, it's like when you're in a funk about work or you have writer's block. The more you tell yourself you have writer's block, the longer the writer's block extends. So if you tell yourself, hey, I'm gonna get up and this is easy and this is for my benefit and you know I'm ready for this, I'm getting ready to be ready, then then your brain will find that. So whatever you are attuned to in life is what you will find. The key is to attune yourself to it, and that's not always easy, but you can do it.
Agreed.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, segment of trivia. We're going to pass this over to the expert.
Okay, name the singer.
Lord.
No, name the singer.
Name the singer.
Singers.
Oh, you're gonna sing for us?
Yeah, just the
Okay,
first
go
sign.
ahead.
I want to see if you guys
Please
get it.
God, brace yourself.
Hold on, I'm a little bit congested, so.
Just a tad.
أخذني معك.
That's it? Oh my god.
Jeez, that was tough.
Can the producer chime in?
أخذني معك.
Julia Botros?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you mentioned...
Why don't you
Feroz
finish?
earlier, but
Alisa?
Hold on.
Nawal
Finish.
Zumbi,
I don't
Najwa
like Elisa
Karam.
anymore. No.
Let's finish the rest of it.
I
Khidni
don't
Mak.
know. What's her name? What's
Hold
that
on,
one
let
with
me
the big
remember the
cheeks?
words.
Is it Nancy?
Nancy
I
Ajram?
don't know.
Nancy
I
Ajram?
don't even know.
خيالي.
Please keep this in, I beg of you.
Is it a woman?
No, hold on.
Yeah.
خيالك خيال.
خيال.
خيالك خيال.
شو بعرف؟
You guys
I don't know
don't
Arabic
know?
singer. I don't know Arabic
Get
singers
off.
that well.
I need you to chime in,
Get off.
sir.
I only want
Oh, I know that new one with the big curly hair, the
not-
Palestinian
Firas.
Chilean one.
No.
No?
Do you know who
What's
sings
her
that?
name?
Firas, do you know who sings it?
That
She had
Fiha?
that song with Coldplay.
Yeah, the one with the
Jeez.
Coldplay.
Come on, you guys don't know.
You guys...
She's Colombian and
Yeah.
Palestinian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that does the rap and we pray.
Yeah.
It's such a good
خيالك
one.
خيال مش عادي.
Girl, you
Khayali,
better
khayali.
stop.
I'm really at a loss, and I'm shocked that you're
Girl,
singing
you
for
better
us.
I'm
Stop.
asking
I'm
Yara.
really at a loss.
فضل شكر يارا. No. It took her a minute. I'm very disappointed.
I'm so proud
I'm very
of you.
shocked.
I'm very
I'm
disappointed.
very shocked that you sang for us like this. Wallah shukran.
Why don't
Oh,
you sing
you
Im
know
Kulthum
she
for
thinks
us?
that
I'm
she's
going
like good.
Closing remarks.
Outside right now.
Closing remarks.
Outside.
I know. Closing remarks.
Okay, guys,
Closing
thank you so much
remarks.
for joining us for
Thank
Woman
you
in
so
a
much for joining
Podcast.
us.
We're amazing.
And remember, you choose your own title company.
and remember, you get to choose your own title agency, so choose one your title.
All right, great.